All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping straight into the magical mystery of the sky, and we're taking a little journey alongside a heroic beam of sunlight. With a brilliant, smart owl as our guide, we're going on this awesome adventure all the way down to Earth to uncover the real secrets of the sky and figure out exactly why it looks the way it does.
But hold on, before we really get going, I've got to ask you something crazy. What if I told you that the bright blue sky you look at every single sunny day is actually secretly purple? And what if I told you that your very own eyes are playing a massive trick on your brain right now? I know, it sounds totally controversial, maybe even a little unbelievable, but I promise you it is 100% true. That is the big mystery we're going to solve on our adventure today.
Now, quick pause for something absolutely crucial before we start playing with light and doing epic science experiments. Safety first, right? You should never ever look directly at the sun. Its light is incredibly powerful, and it can seriously hurt your eyes. And whenever you're trying out the awesome science experiments we talk about today, always make sure you have an adult there to help you out, okay? All right, with that out of the way, let's dive into this.
So to really get why the sky looks the way it does, we kind of have to go back in time to see how it was made. Imagine Earth billions of years ago. It was just covered in hot, molten rock. All this heat and pressure forced gases to form these massive bubbles in the lava. And when those giant bubbles burst, they released gases that eventually formed this invisible blanket of air completely surrounding our planet, what we call our atmosphere. Fast forward to the mid-1800s, and a scientist named John Tyndall started running experiments to see exactly how this invisible blanket changes the sunlight passing through it. And we actually saw this happen in real life back in 1883. That's when the Krakatoa volcano erupted. It literally made the loudest sound ever heard by humans, an unbelievable 310 decibels. It blasted so many particles up into the air that it painted the entire world sky in these spectacular colors for months.
Okay, so how does this invisible air actually make colors? Well, let me introduce you to the hero of our story, white light. When sunlight travels down to Earth, it just looks plain white to us. But white light actually has a secret superpower. Hidden deep inside it is an entire rainbow of colors. You see, light travels through space a lot like waves in the ocean. But every color has a totally different sized wave. The red, orange, and yellow colors, they travel in these long, lazy, stretched out waves. But the blue and violet colors, they travel in very short, super energetic, choppy waves.
And that brings us to the ultimate game of bunker cars in the sky. Our atmosphere is completely packed with tiny, invisible gas molecules, mostly nitrogen and oxygen. When our hero, white light, zooms into this layer of gas, those long, lazy red and yellow waves just glide right on past the molecules. They don't even care. But the short, bouncy blue waves, boom! They crash directly into these tiny gases. They bounce and scatter wildly in every single direction. Scientists actually call this Rayleigh scattering. And because all this chopped up blue light is bouncing all over the place right above our heads, when we look up, we see a totally blue sky. Okay, so wait. What about that purple secret I dropped on you earlier? Well, violet light has an even shorter, choppier wave than blue light. That means violet light crashes into the gases and scatters way more than blue does. So technically, the real color of the sky above you is a bluish purple. But we don't see it that way. Why? Two reasons. First, the sun simply produces a lot less violet light than blue light. And second, our human eyes have these special color receptors that are super sensitive to blue, but, well, they're pretty terrible at seeing violet. Your eyes literally ignore the purple and just focus on the blue.
You can actually see this exact same magic happening right in your own kitchen. You can recreate John Tyndall's very own discoveries. It's super easy. First, just fill a clear glass tank with water. Second, shine a bright white flashlight right through one side of it. At first, it just looks like plain white light. But step 3 is where the magic happens. Add just a few tiny drops of milk and stir it up. Those milk particles act exactly like the gas molecules in our sky. Suddenly, for step 4, the water starts glowing blue from the side, and if you look at the flashlight through the water, the light itself turns yellow. You've literally just created a daytime sky right inside a tank.
But what about the end of the day? When our sunbeam hero gets low on the horizon to set, the light has to travel at a really sharp angle. It's suddenly forced to pass through a much thicker layer of our atmosphere to actually reach your eyes. And because it has to travel so far, it goes through that bumper car game for way longer. By the time the light finally gets to you, almost all of those short blue waves have been completely scattered away, just bounced right back out into space. So what's left over?
Only the long, lazy red, orange, and yellow waves. They push straight through the thick air, giving us those absolutely beautiful, fiery red sunsets.
Okay, let's take a quick detour across the solar system for a second. What if you weren't on Earth? On our planet, our daytime sky is blue because of those tiny invisible nitrogen and oxygen gases. But on Mars? The daytime sky is this alien rusty red. Mars has a very thin atmosphere, but it is constantly filled with these fine dust particles. And this dust is super rich in iron. Here's the trick. Solid dust particles are a lot larger than gas molecules, and they actually absorb blue light completely. Because the blue gets eaten up by the dust, only the red light is left to scatter around, making the Martian day look completely red.
But wait, it gets even weirder. Mars has one more mind-bending trick up its sleeve. If the daytime is red, what color do you think the sunset is? Believe it or not, the sunset on Mars is blue. As the sun sets on Mars, the light has to push through tons of dust. And these particular dust particles have a really funny habit of taking whatever blue light is left and scattering it straight forward, in this tight, glowing circle right around the sun. So while we're on Earth enjoying red sunsets on our blue planet, the robotic rovers on Mars are sitting under a red sky watching a brilliant blue halo form around the setting sun.
So that actually brings up a really good question. If tiny gas molecules scatter blue light and iron dust scatters red light, what in the world happens when our sunbeam hits something much, much bigger? Like, what happens when light hits those giant water droplets floating around inside a cloud?
Let's dive into this. Clouds are basically just big collections of water droplets. And compared to a tiny gas molecule, a water droplet is like a giant mountain. Because they are so incredibly huge, the light waves don't play bumper cars the same way they do with gas. Instead, the water droplets act like trillions of tiny prisms or glass beads. When the white sunlight enters them, the droplets scatter every single color, the red, blue, green, yellow, equally in all directions. And when you mix all the scattered colors of the rainbow back together, your eyes just see big, fluffy, brilliant white. Now, it's not always just harmless water droplets floating around up there. Sometimes, the sky loses its natural magic because of something scientists call me-scattering. This happens when our sunbeam hero crashes into stuff like heavy human pollution, thick urban smog, or massive amounts of ash and smoke from wildfires. These particles are way bigger than natural gas molecules, and they completely change the rules of how sunlight works in our atmosphere. When something like heavy wildfire smoke fills the air, it acts like this massive, heavy physical filter. These large ash particles trigger that me-scattering we just talked about, completely blocking and absorbing all the blue and green light. Only the very longest, deepest red and orange wavelengths can actually punch their way through to the ground. This turns a normally bright midday sky into a dark, eerie, almost apocalyptic orange or deep red. And if you look up at the sun through the smoke, which, remember, you still shouldn't do without protection, it just looks like a sharp, glowing, blood-red orb hanging in the middle of a dark sky. It really goes to show just how fragile our beautiful blue sky actually is.
Wow, what a journey, right? To wrap up our magical mystery tour today, let's quickly lock in the science with 5 spectacular sky secrets. Number 1, plain white sunlight is actually hiding a secret rainbow of colors. Number 2, blue light travels in short, bouncy waves. Number 3, Rayleigh scattering is that epic bumper car game where air molecules scatter the blue light everywhere, giving us our daytime sky. Number 4, the sky is technically violet, but our human eyes just love the color blue. And number 5, at sunset, light has to travel much further through the air, losing all its blue and leaving only the gorgeous red.
So the next time you step outside and look up, you're going to know exactly what's happening to the light beams dancing right above you. But I want to leave you with one final thought. Now that you know exactly how gases, dust, and particles create the colorful secrets of Earth and Mars, what color do you think the sky is on planets and other galaxies that we haven't even discovered yet? Could they be green, neon pink, pitch black during the day? The universe is absolutely huge, and the sky is the limit for what you can discover. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and keep looking up.